Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's do our contest for Disneyland. Now, you have brought along with you this morning, what do you actually call a breakdown of the music? A breakdown? Or
yeah.
Okay.
I never really thought about it before.
There's some technical
It's the only record like this in existence.
Hey, fantastic and exclusive. What they have done is taken out various sections of the new record, Sing. And we're going to show you in audio how they actually put a record together. This is actually part of the things that they do on stage, if you've seen their concert, and I know you have. So, first of all, we'll remind you, after I turn over here, you guys get your question ready.
Okay.
And I say that, son of a gun, they have this thing misfiled, too. There we go. If you happen to need glass, you ought to get a hold of Bill Brundage National Auto Glass. They are in Whittier. Chrysler Plymouth, corner of Ball Road and Anaheim Boulevard in Anaheim. Premature on a commercial for McPeak Chrysler Plymouth, but nevertheless, Gene Andrews will have a traffic report in just about 5 or 6 minutes. Okay, Karen, why don't you start your part, and we'll see what happens here.
Okay, we've already asked the Disney question, and if you know the answer, be the third caller at 213-625-7018. And join the winners on KEZY's Valentine guest list at Disneyland.
Hey, I think she has a nice little...
Thank you very much.
Good.
No problem.
You'll do it. You'll do it. Okay. All right, now let's, while people are thinking about that question and also calling in, let's do the breakdown of the record. And, Richard, if you want to explain, we'll have the record rolling in the background here.
Oh, if I could explain a little first before we run it.
Hold the record just a second. Go ahead, Rich.
It's really quite a difficult thing to try to get, but I'll do my best. We record on 16-track recorders at A&M Records, and this is what most people are using now in recording studios. It started with one track, then it went to 2 tracks, which was stereo. So the people in recording studios back in the middle 50s started on 2 tracks, then it went to 3 tracks, 4 tracks, 8 tracks, and now 16 tracks. And I'll try to explain what that is a little. The average home stereo tape recorder is 2 tracks, and that's your channel 1 and your channel 2. So we're working with 16 at the studio. And with these 16 tracks, we can put different things, needless to say, on each track. We have, let's say, strings on 2, and Karen and mine voices on quite a few because we overdub.
Right.
That's using several tracks. And let's say bass on another track, piano on another track, drums on another track, and it goes like that. So you finally fill up the 16 tracks. Then what you have to do after you have the 16 tracks is what you call mix down. And that's where you take the 16 and mix it all in to 2 different versions. One track, which is mono, which goes to AM radio stations and mono FM stations because it comes out in one channel, and you make a 2-track, which is a stereo, which it goes out to the public because the average home record player is a stereo. So what we've done to try to demonstrate how this is done is put together, we've remixed our new record Sing, starting with several instruments, and then adding, not necessarily in the order they came in the record, but adding one thing at a time all the way down the record until it's finally is all in at the end, just so you can see sort of how a record is put together stack by stack.
Okay.
And the reason people probably wonder why people go to all the trouble of 16 tracks and why don't you just automatically record on the 2 tracks, is so you can have the independence of different instruments on different tracks. So that, let's say in the old days, if you recorded all into 2 tracks or 1 track, and you thought it was fine, and then you came in 3 days later, and you said, hey, I don't hear enough trumpet or whatever. With 16 tracks, you can mix it up or down as you like.
Okay.
So
you want to roll
play it, and I'll call it a success.
Okay, it's 12 minutes away from 8 o'clock here at KEZY. Karen and Richard Carpenter, our guest, and here's the basic.
Okay, now this is piano and electric piano right now. And this is what would be underneath Karen's lead vocal right now. Before long, we're going to add in the 24 strings that we used on the date. entrance will be electric bass and drums. And harp. Doubling the piano line. Next thing will be one ding by a triangle.
That's me.
Now, a chorus of 12 kids. Wrong. Next thing is going to be the background vocals. Okay. This is 3 and 4 part harmony overdub 3 times It took a couple of hours to teaching. And a tambourine's in by now also. Now the next thing will be recorder and flugelhorn. And a celeste right here. Here comes the recorder. By now, this is everything that's on the record.
That's very good. That's very interesting. You really get into a lot of production of the product itself, don't you?
Oh,
Yeah, we do it all.
You both of you really are the chief coordinators of things? That's good. How many people would you say, from 1 to 1 million, it took to produce this record, including all the people behind the glass and the kids and yourselves?
Well,
And how long would you say altogether? You have rough?
it took us about 4 or 5 days
yeah.
of hard work.
Different ones take different. You see, it's hard to really come down and zero in on a time because you.
Yeah, you work for 4 hours one day and 12 the next, and whatever.
It's really hard to say.
The people all together.
12 kids.
Okay, you've got 12 kids. You've got 24 string players. Piano. 3 flugels.
Tom.
1 recorderist, or whatever.
Recorderist.
Recorder player.
Yeah.
Who played 2
Two
recorders.
recorders, not at the same time.
Okay. You've got, did I say piano, bass, and drums, harp.
Engineer.
Also the engineer. Also the engineer's assistant.
Roger Worth.
The mastering engineer who takes it from tape and puts it onto a record.
Oh, there's a lot of people. There's production people. I mean, there's pressing and mastering and all sorts.
Yeah, then after you get the master record made, then you have to have it sent out. You have test pressings made.
We're going to play the whole song here in just a couple of seconds. First of all, let's run a couple of commercial messages here. And Karen, you want to be the guest lady here?
Okay. See the His Kids Benefit Gospel Concert by Andrea Crouch and the Disciples, Friday, February 9th at Knott's Berry Farm. Tickets for the 7 and 9:30 p.m. performances are now at Wallach's Music City stores, Knott's Ticket Office, and your local religious bookstore.